Hi, it's me again talking about bipolar disorder. Like I said, it would be in daily installments, but I want to show you something. This ear of mine is so thick, and that's because I can't get to my barber because of the lockdown in South Africa. Now let's touch on the coronavirus. I won't spend a lot of time on it again. The statistics speaks for itself that it is out of control. We've got over 1,000 confirmed cases on a daily basis. There's about 14,000 cases to date, confirmed cases. There's almost 4,000 deaths. And then they want to open schools and open the economy from 1st of June. I say it is so stupid, but that will be proven. The economy of South Africa is in tatters. We should all pray that it turns around. Unemployment and poverty is rife. Hectic. You can imagine what that does to us bipolar people. The uncertainty, the angst, the anxiety, it's not good for us. So let's continue with a little bit on corona. 23,000 confirmed cases. Virtually 4,000 deaths. Over 1,000 cases a day. It's predicted that there will be by November 40,000 deaths and 1 million cases. I'm not sure I want to stay in this country, but I guess that is for God to decide. Back to the economy. Our GDP is shrinking. I just hope everyone goes on their knees and pray, man. Pray to God that we don't get hurt and get killed by the coronavirus. I had a cousin of ours that was suspected to be infected with coronavirus. Our feelings were running wild, but it looks like she's okay. I can but imagine what the people feel when someone goes into isolation at the hospital and they actually confirmed a case of corona. From the time they get in, you won't see them again until they've died, if they don't live. But you won't see them until they've died. If they get to ICU, my God, they're gone. Let's get on to bipolar disorder. I was always first in everything. I told you that yesterday. Now, that applied to my soccer career. I was always first and captain and central midfielder. I played at the highest level, amateur level, in Cape Town. They approached me to come and play professional soccer, but I refused to. We ever so often won trophies, more often than not. So, soccer was one of my great passions. My career was as follows. I started at the bottom rung in a company that was UK owned. very liberal company. I was 24 when the company sent me to the United States of America on a learning expedition, North America and South America, for 6 weeks. I learned a lot and I brought the technology and ideas back to our factory. Then I became factory manager at the same company. That was a great job, responsible for about 500 people. I left that company and took up a job as general manager for one of the biggest fishing companies in South Africa. I left them, was headhunted to the second highest, biggest fishing company in South Africa. I was then again headhunted to become operations director for the biggest fruit juice company in South Africa, if not the whole of Africa. I left them in 1999 and started my own company. It was a consulting company. And wow, were we successful? And I say I'm talking about me and my wife. I first hit a great contract with 2 municipalities. I then hit a supremely great contract with a trust that was working in the wine industry. Between me and Rochelle, we struck 2 contracts. One with a big packaging company where I was doing training and my wife was implementing and designing a quality management system for the packaging company. We also did the same kind of work at a spice company. We made lots of money. We were fortunate that we invested quite a large sum of money and continuously did. So we are sorted for retirement. I've retired when I was 55. My wife can retire anytime now, but she prefers to work. God bless her soul, I love her so much. So my career was fairly checkered. I started 3 more companies, and all 3 of them failed dismally. But as it is with entrepreneurs, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you move on. When it comes to my career, I am a great believer in a leader-servant style of management. I believe that leadership is born, but you can acquire the skills, but you will never be as successful as a natural leader. Let's go to bipolar disorder. I'm gonna start with the triggers of my bipolar. The first trigger, which was the biggest one, was the death of my son when he was 21 years old. Wow. He just finished his degree at university. Sad, man, sad. I still often cry for him. My mom and dad died 2 months, 2 years after each other. My son in between them. That defined me, but by then I was already walking with God. So I got my response in each one of these days were move closer to God, move closer to God. And He carried me through and will carry you through as well. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 says, I have a plan for you to prosper and not to harm you. Just quickly back to my travels. So that was in America. Then the fruit juice company sent me to Taiwan, to Holland, to Germany, to check out England, to Sweden, to Switzerland. So I'm actually quite well traveled. And I've learned everywhere I go. But the key to all my successes was that I could apply it. And I was always looking for ways to apply it. I'm briefly now going to tell you the 3 triggers that triggered my manic episodes. The first one was when my brother-in-law tried to attack me, assault me. It was hectic. He kicked down a door. He hit out of our windows. But that is in the past. I have moved forward. I've forgiven him. I'm moving forward. The second one was when someone approached me to become vice president of a political party just before the elections. I was ready and packed up, and he was supposed to come to Cape Town. He never did. That morning, I had a consultation with my psychiatrist. My God, he picked up immediately that I was manic. Now, when we talk about manic, we mustn't confuse it with violence, because if you're in a manic episode, you retain your standard, your inherent personality. So I was never violent. But if you are violent naturally, you will be violent when you have a manic episode. The third one was when my daughter was due to have a matric ball and we had no money. I went to a used mall looking for material for a dress. A mom and her couldn't find the material that they wanted. So I went into a material store and I got them to take out 10 different materials, fabrics, to put on top of each other to get the right shade. I didn't even know what shade it was that she wanted. I then went into a number of stores and wanted to buy them. A number of them were quite open to it, but I was manic. I was totally manic. That same night, I left the mall at 11 o'clock when everything was closing. I couldn't find my car. And that was silly. Ultimately, my wife came to fetch me. And we drove back home. I was in hospital again shortly after that. The third one was a very significant one. I haven't slept for a couple of days. And this morning, after the third night that I'm asleep, this morning I was at about 4 o'clock. I laid in our driveway and prayed and prayed. I saw the clouds on the one mountain range and on the other mountain range, one in front of my feet, one on top of my head. there was a couple of clouds in the air. I commanded the clouds to come together from the two mountains and to pour rain on me to bless me. Crazy, man. But that's what it was. Tomorrow we'll talk about my sojourns in the actual wards of the hospital when I've got a manic episode. God bless you. Thank you. Bye.